Ladies and gents, welcome back to another episode of our City Skylines playthrough. Today I have a few things to do, very specifically going to work on some traffic issues that we have. And the next thing I'm going to do is just sort of expand this residential area over here, and I have an idea for this one. So far we've been doing a very organic type of curvy system, you know, just to try to stay out of the grid. When you get into an area, older areas of the city, which tend to be in the centralized areas of cities, you get into a lot of grid pattern. And I don't want to do a grid per se, but I am going to actually copy one avenue to avenue style of blocks that's in my very own hometown. So I've got it up on a Google Maps screen next to me, and I'm going to try to the best of my ability to recreate what this thing looks like. And it is a little bit grittier than what we've been doing so far, but I think it will match quite nicely with our downtown area. Eventually it'll likely turn into a high density, but for the time being we're going to keep it low density. We've got quite a bit of residential demand, so we should be just fine. Now before we get into that though today, I want to work on this traffic. You'll notice this is different than what I had last time, and I found that I was getting a bit of a backup here, so I was playing with this a little bit. I put this in and it obviously solved the problem of traffic going this way and solved the problem of traffic going that way. However, it inadvertently created a nasty backup over in this area. And it's likely due to the fact that everybody that was, you know, maybe coming through here wanted to go to the residential area. So I think the way we solve this is it's time to upgrade this road anyway. We're going to make this intersection starting from here and going up here, and then we're going to change this zoning slightly. This area is going to be very dense residential as it is already, and I think I'm going to make another loop of that right here, and we'll have dense residential and whatever else in this loop. So let's get started on that. I think it'll remedy this problem. I'm not positive, but I think it will. So let's grab our favorite tool, the bulldozer, and start working with some buildings here. We're gonna upgrade. Oh, one more thing before I get going. I downloaded a mod called the extended upgrade tool, and this allows you to upgrade one-way roads to two-way roads and two-way roads to one-way roads, which is something that was missing in the base game. And I was just getting frustrated when I wanted to change a road to try out a one-way. So I was gonna do this one here as a one-way. But when you break it out, you lose all your zoning, and it's a big bloody mess. So I got the tool. I haven't used it at all yet, so I'm hopeful that it's going to be a good one for me. I think what we're going to do in here is not a 6-lane, but we'll do a 4-lane, and we're gonna extend it all the way back here and make this kind of the secondary artery of this this area. I'm not sure if I'm going to connect up here or not. I don't like that this would be a very short intersection. I think I like it being this long so far, especially now that we're adding another traffic flow into here. So let's get the upgrade tool and we'll try to pop these in. Hopefully there's no service buildings. I just spoke too soon. There's two right there. So we have to deal with these service buildings. We've got an elementary school, which will be easy to deal with. And we've got this graveyard. Oh, we've got a graveyard. We can't move this. Oh, shucks. Okay, we're going to have to build around that again. So let's just bulldoze. We're going to have to do some surgery here because of that. We'll just clear this stuff out. I'm just going to have to back the road up just a bit at a different angle because of that. Nope, I don't want to do that. I'll just move it again. So where can I move it temporarily? Let's put it right there on the completely unconnected road. Let's break out this one part of this one, and we'll grab our avenue tool here. And because this is going to be a fairly trafficked road, we're going to use the tree line, and we need to bust out one more piece right here. Okay, so we have to come in kind of like this angle now. Kind of not so curvy as I was hoping to do it, but to bust these guys. Okay, clear the path, and we'll bump that one. So we got to come in from there, so hopefully this will work. Let's grab our curve tool. Let's get these power lines down first of all. Okay, now we're ready to go. So we're just gonna make a gradual curve. Actually, that looks pretty darn good. Very first try. I like that curve. a little bit straight, but we can't do anything with the graveyard at this point. So let's reconnect this road back onto here. Not the big guy, little guy. One there, and we'll do another connection there. And where do we put our elementary school? There it is. Let's connect this. Connect that back on. That's, I guess, an okay place for an elementary school. We're gonna rezone this to high density. So let's get doing that. All right, get that in as high density, and we're gonna be good to go with some residential expansion. Did I manage to dezone this one? Just double check. Okay, now high density all along this main road here. We'll take this low density out. Question, is the graveyard still attached at this point? I'm not so sure. We'll have to keep an eye on that. That looks pretty darn good. Let's put a couple offices in here to buffer out the noise. And we won't do that one. We'll do over here as well. Not sure if there's any offices that fit into that kind of space, but do it anyway. Okay, so you can see we got the new avenue in, and we've rezoned everything in here to high density residential. We could do another little offshoot road into here just to tighten things up a little bit. Whoops, not a curve one. Yeah, right about there. That'll give us one more nice size zone. And I think we can get these power lines out of here. Let's see, how did that affect our zoning? Oh, we got some more space, for sure we do. Very nice. Okay, double check that they all have water, and they do, so we are good to let the game go. And we're going to monitor this traffic just a bit and see how this responds to the change that we've made. I think a lot of people will turn right here. I don't know if that's going to speed anything up. I really couldn't tell you, but I know that we do have a backup problem. As you can see, the big long line of cars. Let's get this going a little bit, and we'll see if this clears out. So far not bad, not bad. We still have, I think we're still backing up between two intersections. There is another thing that we could do, which would be to not connect this avenue and instead have like a little off-ramp. Just a little one-way off-ramp onto this, which I think would be quicker if they wanted to go that way, and then it wouldn't put another intersection piece into there. We'll just run this a little bit more and see if we're still having issues. I'm not sure if we will. So far it looks pretty good, actually. Yeah, that looks fine. I think we solved that issue, so we may end up getting another issue with it once all the zoning fills in. I just want to check and see if this is operating. Operating normally, okay. 1070. Oh, 10 more just went in, so I guess we don't have to worry that it's kind of off the road. Now, I want to fix this. This looks really goofy, and it was because of this high school right here that we kind of had a bit of issues. So let's just pause. There we go. This is a one-way road. I changed it to a one-way road just to avoid congestion, and I think we're going to move this high school out of the way temporarily until we fix this up. So we'll grab a one-way 6-lane. That is a highway, that's not a 6-lane. And we will page this up and put it over and down. There, that looks 100% better. Easy fix. We'll leave the high school No, that's on a one-way road. That's gonna be kind of awkward. Let's move it somewhere more logical. Yeah, let's take out that building there. That's okay. Right in front of the bus stop too, so good. Okay. Let's roll that and double check our traffic here again. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay, let's slow the game down because we got some planning to do. Now, here's what we're gonna do. Okay, so this residential area, I think I'm going to make, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 streets top to bottom from the main avenue. So let's bust this guy out of here and we're gonna extend this avenue. Might as well just pause this. We are going to extend this 6-lane all the way out here. And this is a fairly blocky looking residential area, so bear with me until it's over. There are some curvy interior paths, but otherwise it's pretty grid-like. Is that a little steep? No, first it jogs over and then it goes in. Just like that. I might not get this exact, but it's certainly going to be close. Let's see here. If we'll start at the top and work our way down, and if it happens to look kind of gimpy, I'll change it up, or we might have to wait until we unlock this bottom tile. So it starts out with a big avenue here. This actually probably should have turned into a 4-lane, because I know the street that this is, and it's not as big as this street up here. But let's suspend reality and say they're all the same size. So there's a couple main avenues in here. There's one that starts right about here and comes down by a block or two. And actually we're going to start it a little bit further over. Right about there, over a bit. And then we'll use our freeform tool, because it kind of is a little joggy right there. And then we'll go back to straight. Kind of comes out like this, and then back in. That's what the street looks like. That's a real looking street, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, here's a couple of streets off of it. So now this gets into the residential area, and one comes out kind of like, let's see, kind of like, let's make it as efficient as possible. Like this, and it curves right at the end. So we'll put that down straight and then curve downward. And then it really comes actually all the way down like this. This is amazing, actually. I don't even know what this street is. Actually, okay, so it stops, curls back on itself slightly. Oh boy, this is tough. Okay. So it would curve and it comes right back there, and then it continues down like this. All the way down. That's going to be a straight. A straight, please. There we go. And then it curls back in and reconnects to the avenue. Okay, that's one street. And then there's another one. See, this is going to be hard to scale, because there should be another street right there. Obviously, the scaling is off. So we'll omit that one. We'll omit the streets that are in between these two. We'll move over to this side, and there is a fairly large park in this area. So this comes... This is an avenue. These are the challenges of creating real streets, is that you have to think about the scale of it. I mean, this looked right as far as scale was concerned, but then this was too tight between these two things. In the real map, this is actually a freeway, but we won't put that in. So there's one street that comes straight across here, and then there's another street that intersects right here. Just like that. And then there's another one that runs just like, oh boy, yeah, we are way off on scale. That's okay. We'll make this up. This is a close representation of what this looks like. Okay, then there's a long street that comes like this, and then over, and then down. This connects to this. This is just a spider web of streets, as you can see. Then this has a little interior crescent. And off of this one, there's a street that cuts across here, and then another one that kind of follows that street's shape. It comes back about there. This is a big park, and we're gonna leave it as such. However, there is one other street that comes right about here. There we go. That is a close representation of an actual sort of central neighborhood of a city. Park, big park right here. So we will think of something to do in there. Maybe we'll actually put a real park in. Would a real park fit? The park that's actually in there is just a huge park with trees. There's really nothing else in there. So where's our large park with trees? Where's the large park with trees? That's small park. Park with trees, that's this one. So it would definitely fit in there. We need a street to put it on though. So let's grab a street. And we'll try to put that park right in there. Which one was it again? This one. I already got it selected. Just like that. We'll fill that in a little bit later, but I want to get the zoning done. So let's grab some piping, and we'll fix this all up. I'm very tempted to actually try a full recreation of a city. I've done it before in SimCity, and it's very difficult. It's a very difficult thing to do. Usually you start out with the best intentions of being one-to-one on everything, and you end up making a ton of compromises because it is very difficult to get the landscape right, and it's very difficult to get the scaling right. As you can see, even a small area that I tried to do here, the scaling is way off. I missed probably, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 4 different streets out of this map are not there. There was a couple in here. There was a little interior jog in here. So you can see how difficult that would be, but it is a hell of a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, it's fun to try to do it. And it also really gets your creative juices flowing. But there's a couple things this game doesn't have that are necessary for creating a one-to-one city. A recreation of a real city, that is. And that is in-game terraforming. Without that, you have to get your height map exactly right, and you have to get your height map positioning exactly right, which is very difficult to do. There's, say, one bridge in the city that I live in that's on a very steep slope. So there is if you don't get that bridge position in the exact right position on your height map, then you have to have the ability to fix your terrain on the fly. And without that in this game right now, it's going to be very hard to do any one-to-one recreations. So without further discussion on that point, let's get rid of these power lines, because we are going to have to move them around this new zone. And let's bring them out to this bank and back in. That should be good there. And do we need to connect over there? I don't think that we do. Everything else looks like it's fairly interconnected already. And what is this one even doing? It's not doing anything at this point. Let's just tear it down. Okay, so everybody's got water. I want to check our power levels. We're okay. Water's okay. Garbage, education we'll work on in a bit. But I want to get the residential flow in here. Our demand has gone down, but that's fine. Let's get out of this infographic view here. And the park, I don't care if doesn't have power right now. So let's look at the real city's road layout here. So we've got the main artery. This is actually a main commercial street, and I might end up just zoning this commercial because that's exactly what it is. But let me think about that. Yeah, I think we'll do that. We're gonna grab a marquee though and just limit this. This is going to be commercial as well, because that in the real city it's also commercial. So let's zone that in, and this is a commercial block here. We'll just pull this right across. And just like that. Okay, and then this area here on this block is a high density residential area. So we're gonna recreate that here as well. It's just on the one side though, so I don't want to do both sides of that. It's just on the far side. And on this side is also dense residential. So we'll zone that dense residential, and then the rest of this area is just an old suburb that has let's see, what avenue is this? There is a little bit of dense on this, but I'm still going to zone this as light. So we will just zone the rest of this area as light residential. And what street are we on? Okay, so this would have been the freeway in the real city, but since it's not, we might as well zone that as high density residential as well, or offices. Yeah, offices would be a good choice. Offices are a great choice for there, even though the zone is kind of gimpy. I think there'll be some offices that pop in there. I'm not positive though. I think like each of the zones has a building that can fit into a 1x1. So I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I've seen little 1x1 houses and 1x1 businesses. There's those oil change places that go into 1x1s. I'm gonna leave this side of the zoning blank for the time being because we could actually recreate the area below that as well in the real city. It's actually got a neat little street pattern in it, so we'll leave that for the time being, and then we could start encompassing this into this as well, but for now we won't because our demand is pretty stagnant. So let's just check our traffic patterns while we're waiting for people to move in. Overpass seems to be doing okay. This area is still very heavy traffic, but the congestion is gone down. There is congestion right here though, isn't there? Where is mostly people going straight, so that makes an argument for a bit of an overpass there, doesn't it? That screws up this bit though. I suppose we could do like a pull-off overpass and dump people onto this one way to come around. That might work. Yeah, we're backed up 2 intersections deep. So the one thing we could do though is take this street out, and that would alleviate the intersection there, so hopefully they'll flow a little bit freer. I think that left this guy without any zoning. He might have been zoned onto the front one there. Yeah, he was. Okay, sorry buddy. Sorry buddy. I just broke your house for no reason. We've got some crazy zoning holes in here. Likely from when we removed the power lines. Still fairly heavy traffic there, isn't there? Let's look at our bus lines. Have we screwed up any bus lines recently? Yep. This one's not a it's not a loop. It is not a loop right now. I'll work on that later. This one is kind of screwed up too. Yep. We'll work on that bus line later. Anybody moved into our new neighborhood yet? Oh, there's some people over here. Were they there before? Probably. Nope, these are offices now. Our business district is looking pretty cool. I think the next episode we're going to work on beautifying this area, putting in some trees and pedestrian paths and that sort of thing. So I think that's going to be it for today, guys. We built a very substantial new area, and I think it looks really accurate. It looks very, very true to life, because it is true to life. This is an actual neighborhood. So do we really need to give this park power? Come on. Anyway, next time we're going to work on getting this looking a little bit better, and maybe work a little on getting this to look better. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.